Welcome back, people. Today we begin our epic journey with one of the most storied clubs in Portuguese football, FC Porto. Right now they sit in third place in the league, but we're setting our sights higher. Over the next 5 seasons, we're going to go all in to reclaim the Primeira Liga, dominate the cup competitions, and yes, take a serious shot at winning another Champions League, which would pretty much make it up to 3. With no transfer restrictions, the sky's the limit. We'll build a team that can challenge Europe's finest. How far can we take this legendary club? Will we bring another UCL to Porto? Stay tuned, it's going to be a challenge. Right then, and this is going to be FC Porto inside of the game. I am excited for this. For those that didn't know, I had a big FC Porto save last year on the live stream and I absolutely loved it. Now they've got a great reputation, great training, great youth facilities. The owners, they're enjoying life at the club. They're having a good time. The money is never always the best in Portugal. I will be honest, usually you get about 25, 35 million, if you're lucky 40, so you have to make quite small signings and use the players you've got to your full potential. Now, as a club, they have got endless history. 2 Champions League, 30 league titles, 2 Europa Leagues, 1 Super Cup, 20 Portuguese Cups, 23 Portuguese Super Cups. They've got everything going for them. As you can see, it's up, down, up, down, up, down of recent times. So I'm going to come in and hopefully change the way this looks to purely an up arrow. Now, money-wise, if you're playing back home, you would have had a budget of around about £4 million. Now, for me, I'm not going to sign any players in the first window. I've got an up-to-date database, so any signings they have made, we've got the players. Now, we are going to be using the Hansi Flick 4-2-3-1, purely because I really like the way that it plays, and I think it is somewhat suited for this Porto team, having already had a little sneak peek at their players. Now, we have got some very, very good players in this team. First off, Costa. I sign him all the time, an incredible goalkeeper, and one day I imagine we'll move on from Porto. Alongside of him, you have got Pepe, you've got Namasso, you've got Varela, you've got Otavio, you've got real good players. Now, I will say, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that are, of course, loanees at the club, which I don't usually like, because if you can't afford them, it's a real kick in the teeth. And one of the players which I'm talking about is Vieira, because I've used this guy, and I think he's brilliant. He's such a good player, and the issue is, if he does do well, our budget's going to get absolutely butchered to try and bring him in. So it is a bit of a kick in the teeth, but I will say, on the other hand, we have got some decent players out on loan. Gabriel Veron, a fantastic player. If developed correctly, he can turn into an absolute monster. Conceição, again, similar story, on loan at Juventus. Now, these are decent players who can hopefully one day really take this league by storm. Let's not forget Samu, the man who tore apart Manchester United, so thank you, Samu, for that. An absolute machine who I'm sure will score a fair few goals. Now, at any part of this video, if you are interested in getting this tactic and this rebuild file at the end of it, I usually set a little challenge up for you boys and girls, and also you get all of these perks, including access to this month's giveaway, which is £700 split between 7 winners, so £100 each. You can come and check out the Patreon, where you can at the moment get 20% off for any new members. So make sure you come on over. It's a massive community, over 5,000 people. If you like Football Manager, you like the community. Now let's go over and see what we're playing in. We're playing in 4 competitions, and they are predicting a finish, not the stage, the review, of a 2nd place finish, which, to be honest with you, I know how good this tactic is. I know how good this team is. I think we can get off to quite a good start and probably, I'm going to say, win the league in season 1. The real big challenge in this video is to win that Champions League and also these 2 cups. But the Champions League, of course, is where it gets really tough. So let's get into season 1, see what we can do. And we are right into the Portuguese Cup final now against Braga, so one of the better teams over in Portugal. They are not a team that will just sit back and accept defeat. And you know what? They definitely didn't. They're going to go 1-0 up for a very scrappy goal there inside of 8 minutes. And they were looking like the better team. And I tell you what, they were not messing about, because as you can see, they are thriving against FC Porto. A great ball through, and at this point of the game, things were looking pretty negative until you realise you've got a Josh Daly tactic tactic, and things can turn around pretty quickly. Now, this is what happens. So we pick up the ball in midfield, a beautiful ball over the top, and that would have been a penalty, but we'll take the goal regardless, so that is going to make it 2-1. Now, we do not give up, we do not give in. 79 minutes on the clock, 8 minutes apart from that first goal for us. Samu's going to pick up the ball and absolutely blitz it into the top left-hand corner, and we're now going through instantly to the second half of extra time, and it was a shocking throw-in. I don't know what they've done there, but we're going to go on to win our first final appearance with none other than Samu. We also do go and smash Amorim's previous team in Sporting 4-0 in the Portuguese Super Cup, and unfortunately we do lose this time to Benfica, a bitter game in the Portuguese League Cup. Now, the rest of the competitions, we are going to go over and win the league, as you can see, a very dominant season as well. 31 wins, 2 draws and only the 1 loss. Samu with 31 goals, Fabio Vieira with 21, and he's done well. He's done well. He's also got 19 assists. I want him at the club. I need him at the club. But the money, I know it's probably not going to be there. Diogo Costa, also picked up the second most amount of clean sheets. Now, the Champions League wasn't bad. We are, of course, not going to win it. We're going to get knocked out in the quarters against Barcelona. So this rebuild is still nowhere near being done. Despite winning the league and a couple of cups, we still need to win the League Cup and this Champions League. And who knows, let's throw in a Super Cup as well. But as an overall set of stats, these players they've impressed me. So Mario at right back, who I didn't discuss, is an absolute monster in this tactic because he can go forward and attack. 21 assists and 6 goals. Perez, 1 goal, 1 assist. It's okay. 6 and 4. I mean, the poor lad's retiring. He is 36, so let's be reasonable. Mora, great wing back, 6 and 17. Vieira, 34 and 25. I need to try and get this guy into the team. 21 and 13 for Namaso, Pepe 14 and 8, Samu with 39, Navarro out on loan, hold up, 22 goals. He can come back and get some game time any day. 12 and 5 for Jamie out on loan, Veron 7 and 6. We've got some players coming back who are looking pretty good. Sousa's also got to come in, 21 years of age. Again, some decent players putting up some stat lines, but we're going to do this live on camera, so you know that I've tried. Finances, we have, hang on a second, £38 million. That is not bad. How much do they want for this guy? Let's get a heart broken in 3, 2, 1. It's doable. Let's go and make the dream happen. We're going to load into Season 2 after a very, very good transfer window, after a very, very good season of what? A treble-winning Portuguese season in Season 1. Be sure to smash the like button at this point. Let's get into Season 2. I tell you now, this man is going to be a Porto player. Fabio, he is a Porto man. We absolutely love it. He is going to come in for 37 million. Yes, the installments come out. Yes, it was worth it. A goal every single game, 18 assists, 6 player of the matches, and a 7.66. Are you mental? That is an incredible return. The guy's only 25. He can play everywhere on the pitch. This guy, he's special. We are going to pick up Perez. He comes in from Udinese. He comes in for 11 million. He has a decent season, nothing electric, but he's a decent centre-back who wanted to join, didn't cost too much money, and goes right into the team. So do you know what? 2 players welcomed. Obviously, 1 was already at the club. No players leaving. Hopefully we can have a little bit of consistency. You would think so, but unfortunately we are going to go out a bit earlier in the Champions League. We are going to lose in a knockout playoff rounds against Ajax 3-1, and hand on heart, I believe we should be beating Ajax. We've got a great team, a great tactic. I just think maybe there was too many games to manage. Let's go over and run up another Portuguese Cup though. João Mario holding it in the corner, very strange. Fabio Vieira is going to be the man, and oh, how has he missed that? But we'll take the goal. A great start inside of 47 minutes. And this is against Sporting, a team which, you know, I bantered a little bit, but they are a really, really strong team. And the fact that we've come here and actually put on this display is absolutely remarkable, as we are going to go 2-0 up against a full-strength Sporting team as well. So a very, very tough opposition to play. And we actually wrap this final up quite easily. We are now in the 70th minute. Pepe on the ball, inside, into Fabio, back inside. A nice simple 3-0 win. We also just, and I mean just, do win that Portuguese Super Cup over Braga, 1-0. Yeah, we'll take another league title. Only the one loss against, wow, a 16th place team. The draw against, wow, a team that's 12th. So we are not failing to beat any of the big teams around us. Fabio Vieira, your top goal scorer. Samu, 3 behind him. All 4 Porto players in the average rating. Costa, 2nd place again with the clean sheets. Fabio Vieira, 18 assists. João Mario, 17. Honestly, this team, I love it. I absolutely love it. And let's run the League Cup final, the only Portuguese trophy we have not won at least one of this year. Or this rebuild, shall I say, not this year. A great through ball through, and I tell you what, a great start. A goal inside of 7 minutes, and it gets even sweeter because we're talking about 180 seconds afterwards. Fabio Vieira goes through for a penalty. He wins it, he scores it to make it 2-0. I believe Diamande gets a goal. He does, yeah, if he's claiming that, then, you know, I'm Beyonce, but he is going to claim it, and it is going to be a 2-1 game. But Pepe drives at the back line, plays it out wide into Mario, who's actually going to go alone inside. It's a bit lucky. I guess it's tit for tat. 2 awful quality goals back to back. But as it stands, we are going to be leaving the game 3-1, and there's one more goal to come. Pepe attempted a cross, failed, no issue. We're going to get the ball back, and Samu wraps it up 4-1. It's going to be an exquisite season, that is going to be a great season of winning every single Portuguese cup we possibly can. Now, the rebuild is still definitely not over because the Champions League, I genuinely believe we can win. The seasons are really strong at the moment, and as long as we can keep improving the team with 30 million transfer windows, maybe 40, we're going to get there and we can challenge for that UCL. I do want to quickly say, I will update you at the end of next season. We are also playing in the Club World Championship, which unfortunately takes a little bit too long for this save to actually not get rid of the current season results. So that is why we're not going to show you the results this season. I'll show you the next season. But in terms of actual money, we've got £26.5 million. It's not too bad, but I will say when you're trying to keep players at the club, you have to give them higher amounts of money because, of course, you play well. Big teams come in like Madrid, Arsenal, them sorts of teams are after everyone in my team, it feels like. Now, in terms of actual players, let's go and filter by the best 11, and I mean Navarro actually gets into the team. And I don't really like that, especially because Samu scored 38 goals, so let's not disrespect him. 38-4, 19-6 for Pepe, Namasso 12-8. Vieira might be my favourite player. He might be my favourite player this year. 34 and 24 is remarkable. 24 for Mario at right back in terms of assists. And Mora coming in with not that many. Was he injured? Oh, well, he's not injured. But of course, when you've got this guy coming in with 17, who is absolutely rapid, no wonder why he's not getting all the game time. 15 assists as well coming in from DLP. That's absolutely incredible. And it is nice to have someone like Navarro who can come in and also contribute 10 plus goals. I'll be real, I'm loving the team. I've not even really introduced many signings. In fact, I've introduced one new face, which is a centre-back that isn't even playing that many games. So, realistically, this is the Porto team, and I'm loving it. I think they needed a new system, someone that knows what they're doing, and this 4-2-3-1 suits them down to a T. Of course, it is a rebuild, so we are going to go and sign players. So, let me just stop waffling. Q Season 3. We are going to have our first outgoing. I'm not going to spend too much about it because the guy didn't play a game for us, so we are going to wave goodbye to Salsa, but he didn't do anything. 3 new faces. The first one is going to be Igor Diev. He is going to come in from CSK Moscow. Now, as centre-backs go, he is not the quickest, but if you look at the mental attributes, the jumping, the fitness, the tackling, as long as he's paired next to someone quite quick, he will be completely fine. And he scored 11 goals. Now, if there's ever a reason to go and get my set pieces, this might be it. This is one player scoring 11, and yes, they might not all be from set pieces, but come on, centre-back, it's more than likely. What a first season. One of my favourite deep players is going to be Mads Bidstrup. He cost pennies, 14 million, drops a 7 rating, 3 assists, 1 goal as well, 27 appearances. A very strong player, incredibly well-rounded, still fairly young, 25 is not that old for a player, versatile, and just consistent. That's all you can ask for. And lastly, a centre-back, come left back, Maro Perkovic comes in from Dynamo. He comes in for 5 million, and Oh boy, that is some return. 7.48 average rating, good amount of assists, great amount of goals, good amount of player of the matches, and this man can just genuinely do everything. He has got the anticipation, the bravery, the concentration, he's quick, got the stamina, got the work rate. This man can do everything, and he is 23, so again, a player that can be with us for so many years. And once again, just like this window, I will sit here and argue it to the death. It's a big improvement. 3 serious players for under £29 million. We're doing business well, but how well are the results doing? Because, yeah, the Champions League, we need to start creeping up a little bit. Well, the Champions League, I don't know what to say, because the first season we got knocked out in the quarters. We're going to get knocked out in the quarters again. Now, we have recovered it a little bit from last year, but Chelsea, should we be beating Chelsea? Who have they got? They've got Enzo Maresca in charge. He's a great manager. Xavi Simons up front. Have they just got all attacking midfield players? Wirtz, Palmer, Fernandes. I mean, Wirtz, Palmer, Simons up front. What sort of system's that? I mean, it knocked us out of a competition, so I shouldn't slate them, but I do feel like we should be beating Chelsea potentially. But yeah, unfortunately, an exit in the quarters. We're not going to fail in is going to be the Portuguese League. I will say incredibly close in Season 3. Benfica are making a comeback, and we actually are drawing a fair few amount of games now, and also got a loss. But the main thing is, we've won it, 2-3 times back-to-back now. Fabio Vieira still going to be your top goal scorer. Fran Navarro behind him, which tells me Samu's been booted out the team a little bit, unfortunately. 4 players in the average rating. Costa again, second place in the clean sheets. Incredibly consistent goalkeeper. No reason to ever sell him. 4 players of ours in the assist category. The league may as well just be renamed FC Porto. We're not going to guarantee, I'm not going to guarantee, I'm confident in saying we will not bottle it once. Portuguese Cup final against VTSC right now, so a different opposition, but the same cup, same day. You know what we're going to do. We're going to put on an absolute masterclass, hopefully. Clearly not. I can't talk, and we can't defend. It's a great start for the opposition, and I tell you what, this game was actually quite electric. There was a lot going on, and as you can see, we're going to be the reason for some of that power, as we're going to get back right into the game with Fabio Vieira just before the half-time whistle. We are then unfortunately going to find ourselves 2-1 behind from nothing that can be described more than a immaculate set piece. But luckily for us, 80 minutes on the clock, fresh legs on the field, Conceição back from loan, fresh to impress, is going to go through. It would have been a pen, but it is going to be a goal from Jamie there to put us through to extra time, and very similar to the first season, we're going to go on to win this cup final 3-2 in extra time. And is it going to be Samu again? Is it going to be Samu again? Of course it's Samu again. Sadly, the Super Cup Sporting finally find a way to beat us. The League Cup final against Estoril, I will be honest, this game was a I was quite happy when I saw who I was playing, because this is not a tough final, and we're going to get off to a great start there inside of 5 minutes with none other than Fabio Vieira, who has been simply lovely this entire rebuild. I tell you what a player, what a man. João Mario now cutting it back into Pepe. 2-0 inside of 46 minutes. The confidence was, well, the confidence was oozing. There was not a single doubt in my mind what we could do with this team. And I tell you what, every final that we're playing in, 80% of them, we're looking unstoppable. Another goal from Vieira. And at this point, this team who we were playing, I actually felt quite bad for them, but not enough to the point where I'd not stop scoring. So we are going to go through and we are going to win this game 4-0. And I tell you what a show. And that finalises another really successful season, a Portuguese treble, but again that Champions League is paining me a little bit, because I really we need to start progressing. Like Season 4, we need to be minimum in the semis to try and have one shot at it in the final in the last season, if you're basing it off consistent growth. Now, in terms of money, we have got a budget of £42 million to showcase the debts and loans. We have got a little bit of net debt, so I'm not going to try and put them in too much bankruptcy, but at the same time, I'm winning trophies. I'm doing okay in the Champions League. Give me something. Give me something. I know it's my job, but please give me something to spend. And to be fair, they have this window. Now, in terms of money and in terms of players, we're going to look at this team. I look at the team. Goalkeeper can win a Champions League. I believe the wing-backs can. The centre-backs, maybe not. We might need an improvement in centre-back. I believe the midfield, the DLP, Bidstrup, Varela, I believe they potentially could. Vieira definitely could. Namaso, Pepe, maybe the striker, despite scoring 38. I look at Navarro and I think, is he a Champions League winning man? And I think no. I'm going to be honest, so I might look to change him, potentially. I know it's wild, but I might do it. Vieira, 35 and 22. 13 and 16 for Pepe. 4 and 18 for this guy, who I'm not going to say his name because I will offend someone, and I don't want to. But we'll call him Stefan. I can say that. An incredible man, an incredible player. 9 and 8 coming in there for Jamie. A great season. And I tell you what, with this 42 million, I'm going to try and not go too mental in terms of the money. To be fair, we haven't though, have we really? I mean, we have got 28 million pounds spent there, 48 in the first one. So maybe the first one we got a little bit crazy, but we've not put them in that much debt, I don't think. And we are winning consistent trophies, so I don't feel that bad. But let's get into season 4 of the transfers. Yeah, let's go have some fun. Then signing 1 of 2, and we have not gone crazy, but we have got an immaculate player in Mohamed Diamande. Now, he comes in from Rangers, and I'll be honest, he played 27 games, and the return I'm personally happy with. For 23 million, 8 goals, 6 assists, and for a player that just looks very well-rounded. He's quick, dribbling, first touch, passing technique, a very technical man that can play on the left, in the middle, or worst case scenario, if he was needed, up front as well. A really strong player, and a player that I think for that price tag is more than justifiable. Is that even a word? Let me know. Also going to go over and pick up Turan Lara as a sort of backup left back, but actually got first team. Now, we spent 10 million. The guy picked up 18 assists, 12 player of the matches, and dropped... That's not shy of an 8 match rating, so the guy absolutely cooked. Now, for that price tag, we have got a young Brazilian wingback that's nearly picking up, let me just remind myself, nearly 10 goals and 20 assists in his first season. This guy is incredible. The tackling is decent, the crossing's very good, he's quick, the stamina's there. We might have picked up a gem here, and I tell you what, these 2 players for 33 million, no players leaving, we've strengthened again. But we have had our worst placement in a Portuguese League Cup, I believe, in the video. We are going to go out in the semi-finals, which isn't too bad, but we have been consistently minimum final. This time, Benfica get the better of us. That story is not to be said in the league, as we have an invincible season. We do draw against Sporting, Morense and Benfica, but we are going to win 31 games. Fabio Vieira, can we just... I might build a shrine for him. 27 goals. He also is going to be just... It's just everything. Pepe with 17, Danny Namaso with 17 as well. We've got 3 players in the average rating. Costa finally outclasses Trubin. We've got 3 players in the assist category, and the left back that we signed is obviously going to top the charts and the most player of the matches. It feels like everything we're doing today is going right. That's how it feels. Sadly, Estoril are going to play us again in a Portuguese Cup final, and they're a team who, they got blitzed by us once, and I feel like they knew this was coming. We're going to get off to a great start inside of a minute. It's not looking good. In fact, 68 seconds to be exact. We're then going to be inside the 18th minute with Fabio Vieira down the left-hand side into Lara, and if he's playing balls like that, no wonder why he got so much of a good rating, because that is simply beautiful to watch. A great start, and at this point we were in full flow, but when this goal goes in, a great overlap from João Mario, really showcasing this handsy flick system. We're going to be 3-0 up in 50 minutes, and I almost felt bad for them because they've got to 2 real big Portuguese Cup finals, and they're facing probably one of the best teams that Porto have ever had, and one of the best systems, and they can't do anything about it. They're 4-0 down now in 57 minutes, and to make things worse, we somehow find time for a 5th goal. A 5-0 win, a cup final which is going to leave a lot of Porto fans just ecstatic. There is no doubts we were going to win that game. And the Portuguese Super Cup against VTSC, again a game which I was quite confident going into, and we probably should have been. That is a beautiful assist from Lara there, through to Fabio Vieira inside of 13 minutes. We're then going to have VTSC come back. A great little touch, to be fair to this individual, a great ball in the box, and I'll give them credit. it. It's a beautiful goal, and at this point, it was all level. But unfortunately for them, they didn't really last too long before conceding a very scrappy goal. And I feel like this really knocked their confidence, because after that goal went in, we were about 2 minutes tops after that, the Masso finds Lara, who is such an informed left-back, and even scoring goals, by the way. And at this point, we are going to be 3-1 up, and the final sort of swayed. Their heads dropped, our heads lifted. The Masso is going to find Lara. Look at that play between them two. That is beautiful. What a bit of play, and what a time to showcase it. When I've been hyping up Lara so much, it's nice to see this is also being done in the final. We're then going to have Pepe down the right-hand side, playing it in to Escocito, playing it back inside. Oh, he doesn't. He goes alone, actually. I was expecting a bit of a sweaty goal there, but a great goal to make it 5-1. And we're going to go over and wrap this game up with one more goal. We've got time for one more. Namasso over the top into a player that we've not even talked about, but he wins it, and we win 6-1. And that is going to be Season 4 done. Again, another Portuguese treble, but we failed to win the Portuguese League Cup, we failed to win the Champions League, and we go back in the Champions League in terms of what we're actually achieving. Now, in terms of money for the last season, we've got a budget of £41 million, so that's completely fine. The debt is going down a little bit as well, which is nice. And I'm looking at this team, and I've got one last shot to win the Champions League, so I am going to spend the money, and I think I'm going to try and bring in a striker, because Namasso, who originally was actually an AP, is now being ranked as our best striker by the game, and I think that might be a bit of an issue. Or is it? Because now Vieira plays in the middle, Pepe out on the right, Diamande. It's difficult. What I will say is our wing-backs, Mario 5 and 19, Lara 12 and 26, 20 and 15 for Pepe, Vieira 31 and 16, Diamande 18 and 10, Namasso 24 and 10, 5 and 16. I mean, the players are delivering, but it's just that Champions League, we can't get over that quarter-final stage. We can't do it. So I'm going to have a big think of players that I think I want to bring in. On paper, we've actually got a really well-balanced team, but I want to have a shot at winning the Champions League. So I'm going to go away and think after what is to be described as still a strong season. I mean, we haven't lost a Portuguese title, for God's sake. We're dominant in that. We're winning Portuguese cups. But let's really try and push on for the Champions League. Queue up Season 5 transfers. And we are going to welcome in one of my favourite players. If you have been a fan or a viewer of this channel for some time, you will know that when Arda Güler becomes available, I will sign him. Now, I will say he's not developed to the best of the best, but he still plays 27 games, picks up 12 goals, 8 assists, and returns above a 7.3 rating. Now, he's still only 23, so I've left you here a player that is absolutely destined for greatness in the future. He is such a talented player, technically, mentally, physically. He offers it all. He's not on that much per week, and for that sort of money, I had to bring him in. I've made a statement to attempt to win the Champions League. Now, I will say I spent big, and I did use installments. 49 million. Now, in the league, he has ripped it up. 21 goals, 1 assist, 2 player of the matches, a good average rating return as well. But has he done well in the Champions League? That is what we've got to find out. Now, as a player, he is still only 25. He is such a useful player to have as well. He can play on the left, on the right, up front, through the middle. The guy's handy to have. But he was brought in for one big reason, and that was to play against the bigger teams in the Champions League and maybe just give us that extra little bit of, you know, what's a cool word to use? I'm not going to use swaz, it makes me feel sick. Just a bit more sort of technique and something about him. And I feel like maybe it's just done that. So let's go and watch the Champions League first. Here we go then, the last season into the Champions League, and we are going to be blistering through the round of 16 in a 9-goal thriller over 2 legs into the quarters, and we're going to be RB Leipzig. Now, who do we want here? I don't really want to play Liverpool. I don't want to play Madrid. I don't want to play PSG. We've got to play one of them. Are we going to get to the final? No. No. We're going to get beaten 4-1 by Liverpool. The Champions League just wasn't meant for us, was it? Let's queue up another League Cup final. This time it is going to be against FC Porto. FC Porto? Sporting, that would be worrying. I've got utter head loss from this Champions League. That's why I just got confused there. A great start inside of 6 minutes, and the game is going to be wrapped up. So these cup finals we can hack, and we are going to see Ansu Fati on the ball, into Fabio Vieira, over the top. Oh wow, that's a lovely goal. What is going on in Season 5? We're going to be knocked out by a team that I've bantered the entire video. We're going to get knocked out in the 6th round. That's embarrassing for the Portuguese Cup. You lift the Super Cup against them, but it's to be expected. Now, I will say we do go on to win the league, so at least we've still got that in our pockets. I mean, I will say, though, a big drop-off in terms of players that are ours in the stat line. So it's not, in fact, it's the closest it's been. A very, very close season, but we have obviously gone over and won it 5 times in a row. So we can be proud of ourselves. We can be proud of ourselves for winning the Portuguese League Cup and the Super Cup. The Champions League have failed. Now, this is why sometimes my videos are a bit different. It's not all about writing the perfect story. If we don't win it, we don't win it. It's as simple as that. I set myself 5 years to do this, and I feel like maybe I should have done it. Now, I don't want to get the excuses out there, but I do feel like maybe if we had a bigger budget for one of the windows, maybe a £70 million job, we could have got the job done. Maybe I'm a money manager. Maybe I am Pep. I don't know. But I will say, as an overall project, we still have obviously upped the reputation, and we have added a bunch of trophies in. And now, although it is a flat line, that is an average of winning 3 trophies a year. So it's a very, very, very big turnaround. The team that you've got now are so well developed. You've got bagsmen, you've got curators, you've got great defenders. Obviously, you've got a great goalkeeper. And the challenge I'm going to set you back home with your budget of 29 million. So again, being stingy, is to win the Champions League with FC Porto. If you do want to take the challenge on, you can get this tactic, these perks, and the rebuild file over on that Patreon. Always send me a picture when you get it done, because occasionally I dish out a cheeky reward. It's nothing big, could just be like £5, £10 PayPal, but just occasionally I dish it out there and there for people that do complete the challenges. And obviously, you probably are after something to play because the game's been cancelled. I try and do these because it does create very fun game save files. Let me know in the comments if you want me to actually purposefully make a challenge concept, and I will do that as well. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.